Ladies and gentlemen, it is Night of Destruction number 2 of 2014 at Irwindale Speedway with the low budgets here August 30th, 2014. And it is now time for the third event of the night, which means we are only hitting the halfway point.
I can't believe we've even made it this far.
How is your body doing? Are you physically tired? Are you mentally tired?
I'm everything tired. Everything about it is tired. If I wasn't moving, I was sleeping, I feel like. And I mean, we got up early in the morning, stayed up late the night before, and all throughout the week, mentally preparing, physically preparing, and just completely stressed out about what's gonna happen and how it's gonna run. Now we're heading into the skid plate race, which is always the great unknown event out at Irwindale Speedway's Night of Destruction, because you only have 2 wheels and all they do is steer you and pull you. The back is just gonna slip around and slide. We've done it before and many times in the skid plate race. But now we've got 2 cars that have just finished the Enduro, bolted on the skid plates. Last event of the night for these cars.
Yes.
So, naturally, you kind of take it up a little bit.
Yeah. I would describe mentality going into this event. We've made it to this point, and there's some relief. The relief is that every car that will be on track from this point on doesn't have a following event, which means if something happens to the skid plate car, that's fine. It doesn't affect the following 2 events.
Yep.
Something happens to the Derby car, which I don't know why it would.
Oh, it might.
So on and so forth.
Exactly.
So here we are getting ready for the skid plate race after 2 events under our belts. I already know you're fired up after the auto soccer. You're like, screw this, I'm ready to get on track and do something else.
I want to just redeem myself in a way, you know?
So, Tommy, your car a little bit beat up after the Enduro, but your plans going into the skid plate
You know,
race.
it wasn't as beat up as I thought it would be, and so I knew the car ran and drove and everything about it, so all I had to worry about is getting on track. One of the main focuses for me was to try to get used to this car, because it's a new car, and I'm not used to driving something this heavy. This is the biggest car I think I've ever driven, heaviest car I've ever driven in the skid plates. And you've seen in the past 2 events that I spun out two events ago at the start of the race, and I've never done that before. And I've been in the other 2 events leading up to this one. I've just been trying to figure out this car, and so that was my main goal. I want to figure out this car and do well. Always starting in the back makes it fun because you get to pass cars and try to stay out of the trouble.
That's right. Well, getting ready to go here, Tommy. My mindset as far as race time is, I know my car's good. I know I have a shot. I've played around with qualifying a little bit just to see how it worked out. But you know what? This car's ready to go for all the dents it now has. I have a bit of a lip now on my hood, but you know what? I'm excited because it's skid plate racing time. It's Night of Destruction. My car just started up. I'm ready to go.
Here we go. Skid plate race. Night of Destruction number 2.
race is concluded, and Tommy, the car still run.
Get used to me saying this all night, but I am surprised that my car drove off track, because at one point I hit a tractor tire. That's 2 for me tonight.
You hit another one?
I hit another tractor tire, but with my wheel facing the tractor tire. I hit it once on the side, and I figured, okay, well, I'm going to spin out, so let me at least try to save it. So I mashed that gas. I put all 90 horsepower to the front tires.
All 90.
or whatever that car has. And it didn't do anything. It actually drove me right into the tractor tire, and I knew I was in big trouble at that point, and I just knew that I tore off the right front tire and I would never continue again. But then I put it back in gear and I drove away. So that was my biggest damage of the night. I never had anything else. I got involved in a few crashes, but like I said, I'm surprised that we can get those cars off the track.
Yeah, as for me, my race, I'd say went very smoothly. I spun out twice, at least, in this race. One of which I believe, it's funny because you always think back to it, it just happened. And you're like, why did I spin out?
Because so much happens behind the wheel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in this race, I know I had to spin out to avoid some carnage. I saw a couple cases where wrecks were happening in front of me, and usually I'm able to drive through them, but there was one that I'm like, not gonna happen. I had just made it inside the top 10, Tommy. I'd worked my way up to the 8th position from starting in dead last next to you.
Which is impressive, too.
And
that's a lot of cars to pass.
Yeah, and you know what? I hadn't gone a lap down yet. I'm like, this race is actually going pretty good right now. And I see the carnage happening in front of me, and I jump on the brakes. I spin the car out, and of course it's facing the wall. And I'm like, oh boy. I throw that thing into reverse. I'm flying in reverse. I can't imagine what everyone else is thinking right now. Like, he's brave or he's dumb.
Yeah.
All of the above. And yeah, no, as far as that race goes though, it was able to hold on to the top 10.
Very good, and that's always great. I mean, you had mentioned, I guess you just found out recently that you should have started, what, outside?
Third.
Row, yeah. You
I was supposed to start third
inside,
in the race.
never mind, inside row number 2 on that race.
And I passed the guy who started on the front row. So,
but I kind of take that as more impressive. I think it's more impressive that you started in the back and worked your way through the top 10 than potentially winning the event.
There was a lot of junk to pass.
There was tons of junk to pass. And much like you, I kind of got stuck in a weird spot. A guy had spun out in front of me, and I had no choice but to get on the brakes and spin it out. What happened is that where I had stopped, the back of my car was in the racing groove. The front of my car was up against the skid plate car. So if I were to back up, I would be facing traffic, door shot of the cars sliding into me. Yep. So I just figured I'd play it safe and let him go. Of course, his car had stalled out for 20 minutes.
We talked a little bit about, before the race, about your expectations, the things you had to overcome with your car. But I think we've left one part out. You were the one driver on Team Low Budget that had to deal with battery issues.
You know what? You're right.
Yeah.
That's so long ago that I forgot. I had to jump my car twice throughout the Night of Destruction, before the Enduro and the skid plate race. So I had that jump for the skid plate race. We had it ready. Yeah. We knew it was going to happen. Yep. But it's still surprisingly. So we know that one thing we're going to have to adjust, take that battery out, put it inside of one of the junk cars after the Demolition Derby, and take one of the good ones, or get another one from Lee's battery. Which that battery wasn't Lee's battery. That came with the car. I'd always crank my car and I'm like, come on, come on.
I'm watching your brake lights. That's what I was watching. I just see them go dim.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so the skid plate race, really a successful event for us. Yeah. We didn't set the world on fire by any means, but
I think you did pretty good in that event. And I finished, I think, 15th or something like that. Yeah. We've got another skid plate race in just 2 weeks.
What?
So I guess it worked out that we didn't tear those cars up like crazy.
I guess not.
So,
well, Tommy, we have now passed the halfway point in Night of Destruction. The next event is when I think we're going to start filling them the next day.
Oh boy.
The Demolition Derby is coming up next.